So we're playing more find the squares and oppositions. And we've got two dates here. I'm going to let them speak for themselves. And what looks like a jumble to start with is, to the layman, it would be difficult to see anything in this. But let me reassure you, there's plenty in here that indicates something's amiss. So, first of all, this little section right here, we're going to start from the left and work our way over to the right. So, this is natal moon. If we look in the natal chart, here's the moon in Capricorn at 2 degrees and 25 minutes. Here it is right here. And then we have, what is that, Mars in Scorpio. And here's Mars in Scorpio at about 2 degrees 14 minutes. And it's represented right there. And then we have this transiting Mercury. It's not there in the natal chart. See, Sagittarius, that's over here. That's not that one. So we'll find it over here in the Mercury in Cancer. 3 degrees and 58 minutes. 3 degrees, almost 4. Okay, so if we count the rows from transiting Mercury down to 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's a trine, then we count 2 more, 4, 5, 6. That's an opposition with this natal moon. So here's an opposition, here's a trine. This is what's known as a sextile. It's 60 degrees apart. So 60 plus 120 is 180. And that's a full circle. So that's interesting, but not in play right now. So then Venus isn't close to anything. And then this is a semisextile. And here's another trine. But we're counting squares and oppositions because this is an important day. This is something that I want you to figure out for yourself. But you can see here that it's 1, 2, 3 rows different. So this is transiting Mars, 3 rows different to transiting Pluto, 3 rows different from Mercury, another 3 rows different from Uranus, and if we wrap it around to the top, you got 3 more rows to Mars again. That's what's known as a grand square in astrology circles. And so that's a difficult situation because you'll make 2 steps forward and 1 step back the whole time. You fix it one place, it goes wrong another. And then, so there was more in this. You can see here that the natal Neptune has a square with the natal Sun. And then you'll see the transiting Neptune. So natal Neptune is square transiting Neptune. And then if we stretch it out a little bit, we can see there's another square here between Jupiter and Sun. And that's what? A 1, 2, 3 degree orb? That's not a lot. When you're talking about 360 degrees and you're only off by 3 degrees, that's pretty close. Most astrologers will go out to 5 degrees before they won't count it. Some even more than that. But we're trying to stay into an exact pseudoscience here. We're not we're not stretching things beyond credibility. And so 3-4 degrees in a full circle isn't that far away. And I'll show you later that this isn't common. You know, this many squares is not a common thing to happen. And let me show you. So here's another square. So there's 4 here, 1, 2, 3, and then wrapped around to 4. There's 2 here. That's 6, 7, and okay, so that's 7 squares, all happening simultaneously on this date for a person born on that day. So if we go forward, because he didn't die on June 5th, he was assassinated on June 5th. So if we go to June 6th at 12:30, see, this is a 24-hour time. So it was a little misleading there, because let me go back to 5th and let me change the time and see what's going on here. So you can see that the moon was in a different place altogether. And here it is making a square. Here it is making a square with transiting Mars. So something's afoot. And then a little later, let's back it up a little earlier. See, so nothing much is changing except the moon a little bit. So we go, if we walk it forward, yeah. So it's coming into play with the transiting Pluto. So about when it lines up with this grand square, yeah. So actually, might have been assassinated a lot later than you'd expect. Might have been changing the truth a little bit for the public. So it might have been right around 4 a.m., 5 a.m., I don't know. But it was probably, since Mars is transiting too, if we back it up to midnight, no, I'm thinking maybe, 2:10, 2:20, 2:30, 2:40, about 2:40 a.m. That it does a very tight orb with Mars with a square. And then if we move forward, and that was probably the time of the assassination, about 2:40 a.m. And then so he didn't die on the 5th. And if we look forward, go to the 6th, and where are we? Right. So still the same birthday, June 6th, 1968, at 2:40 a.m. And we have the transiting moon over here. And that's going to make a square with both the moon and Mercury. So if we try to align this in a straight line on this graph, let's see where we go. So 3, 4. So it's sometime around 3:40, and if we change the minutes here, 3:55. So what we can do is look at we can kind of do it visually, but if we do it by the numbers, you take the 4 degrees, you add the 2 degrees, and you average them together. And so if you put this in decimal form and you average them, you'd find an exact time for that. But this is down to the minute anyway. So we're looking at June 6th, 1968 at 3:55 a.m. was the time of his death.